Hey there, welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. If you are brand new to my channel, yay, you're finally here. I've been waiting for you. And if you're a returning subscriber, yay, thank you so much for coming back. I truly appreciate your support. And as you already know, my goal is to give you the heads up on filmmaking quality and content so that you can make the best decision as to whether or not you want to spend time or money or both sometimes watching a particular film. So the movie I'm reviewing today is called Lonesome Soldier. Isn't that a sad title? Well, this action drama movie is now playing in theaters. The film is rated R and is an hour and 49 minutes. My overall movie review mom grade is a B. So I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked and didn't like, as well as offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about, funny lines, if there are any interesting lines, and recommendations for other films that are sort of similar that you might also like, or you might even like better than this one. Right, you ready to dive in? Me too. All right, so in a nutshell, one of my sons is in the military. And so this kind of movie really hits my heart hard. It's about a soldier who returns home from the Iraq war and struggles to adjust to civilian life due to PTSD. It's based on a true story, but could easily represent many soldiers' tumultuous stories. In fact, several cast members are actual veterans, and I love that. From a grateful nation, thank you for your service to our country. The dramatic film was directed by Nino Aldi. Writing credits go to Lionel Chetwynd and Alexander Randazzo. So here's a list of things that I really liked about this movie. First, I had never seen Alexander Randazzo in anything before. I'm a new fan. He helped write and produce the movie in addition to starring in it. He portrays several versions of his character: pre-war idealism, frightened soldier in Iraq, and drugged out loser, recovering soldier, and hopeful man. That's quite a transformation, isn't it? He was believable in each of those roles, and I thought he did a really good job. So, congratulations to him. There's a really great speech at about the 1 hour, 23-minute mark. Every returning soldier should listen to it. I loved the illustration of a mother's fierce love and loyalty to her son. That kind of love is extremely powerful. And I hope that my four sons feel that from me too, because I definitely feel it for them. There are some realistic looking action sequences with soldiers in Iraq that illustrate the powerful brotherhood in the military, as well as the heart wrenching moments that haunt them for the rest of their lives. And my oldest son loves that fellowship, that brotherhood so much. That's probably his favorite thing about being in the military that he's told me. The movie also does a really great job showing the heavy toll that the soldiers' families experience. Watching what my son and his wife and two young children have gone through so far in his military service, I can tell you that the families of soldiers sacrifice a lot too and deserve our utmost respect and support. In fact, years ago, when I lived near a military base in California at Camp Pendleton in San Diego County, a bunch of my friends got together and we put together Easter baskets, Mother's Day baskets, Christmas baskets that we could deliver to some of the families on the base, just to let them know they were not alone and that we had them in our thoughts and prayers. So you should think about doing the same thing with your church group, scout group, school group, whatever. It makes a big difference, and it just simply lets them know that people are thinking of them and are grateful for their sacrifices. All right, so back to the movie. Every scene shows raw, honest emotion and will hit you in the gut. It's so frustrating that the military trains our soldiers to be so tough that when they return home, they reject all of the services often that they need to make good choices in their new lives. And we see that in this movie. Out of all of the movie themes that have ever been, hope is my all-time favorite. And this film displays it pretty well. Now, with that praise, there were just a few things that I didn't like or thought could have been done better or differently. For example, the majority of the movie is a depressing journey with a returning soldier who gets lost in the gutter of society, drugs and women and all that kind of stuff. His family just implodes around him, and you just want the sadness to end. Some of the Southern accents in the movie are not very good. So many scenes could have been deleted to tighten up the story. And because the film is so depressing to watch, honestly, it was too long for my heart to take. So, a 90-minute runtime would have been plenty to say what it needed to say. And then ultimately, we've seen this type of movie many, many times before. Not to say we don't need the reminder, we do. We still have military men and women out there every day, and they need our support when they come home. Now, let me give you some tips for parents. This is not a family-friendly movie at all. Kids are going to be extremely bored, but this isn't appropriate for them to watch anyway. There's lots of profanity and so many F-bombs. We see the naked rear end of soldiers in boot camp. There's so much use of alcohol, cigarettes, marijuana, and cocaine, violence with various weapons, as well as hand-to-hand combat. Now, that's not just in the war. That's when the soldier comes home. Just saying. There's explosions, destruction, blood from violence, lots of drug use. I think I mentioned that already. Infidelity, and lots of angry yelling. It's exhausting. Some of the positive themes that are illustrated well are going for your dreams, responsibility, family support, learning how to cope with stress. Other themes are racial inequality, PTSD, love and loss, choices and consequences, and as I mentioned before, hope. Now, whenever I watch movies, I write down funny lines, if there are any, interesting lines, and you can see all of them on my written review at moviereviewmom.com. Now, when I went back to look at my notes, I didn't write any funny lines, but I did write some interesting lines, and I'll share a couple of them with you right now. So John Ashton plays a character named Mac Roberts, and he says, just because you're dying doesn't mean you have to end up dead. And I thought, that's really an interesting quote. These soldiers come home and physically, emotionally, spiritually, socially, in all of those ways, they feel themselves slowly dying. So I thought that quote was really interesting. And then Patrick Y. Malone plays Sergeant Winfield, and he says, the fight's not over, it's just different. And I love that. That's great advice for soldiers. They know how to fight. And so if they can be told in their military terms, this is just another battle. It's just different than going over to a foreign country and physically shooting and killing people and that kind of stuff. And so I liked that. Now, while I watched this movie, I instantly thought of some other films that take the same story and approach it a little bit differently, sometimes in a similar way. But my first example is a very rough movie to watch called Cherry. And it had a fantastic performance by Tom Holland. I had never seen him do anything like that before. And it just, again, is heart-wrenching. And you see how difficult it is to make that transition from military overseas to coming back and trying to blend in with civilian life and try to feel some sense of normal. Anyway, if you like this movie, I think you'll like that one as well. Another movie is called Dog, and again, talks about how difficult it is dealing with PTSD. Another one is one that I recently reviewed just a few months ago, I believe, is called 22, the Unforgotten Soldier. The number 22 in the title speaks to the number of suicides that soldiers engage in when they come home. You're given numbers by the day, by the month, by the year, and it's just devastating. They need our help. And so if you have a loved one or a friend or even associate, encourage them to get the help that they need, because just suicide is awful. Anyway, and then the last one is a more positive spin on this story, also based on a true story, like the other ones. It's called Mending the Line. And I also did a recent review of that one. In fact, I'll cue Mending the Line up at the end of this review so you can see a more positive spin. It's definitely about soldiers returning and struggling, but they find ways to deal with it that are positive, and in turn actually end up helping other people as well. So definitely check out that one. All right, that's it. Thank you for spending a few minutes with me. And again, if you are a soldier or a returning soldier, thank you so much. We love you. We want you to stick around. And so please get whatever help that you need. The VA is there. I know it's a lot of red tape. My stepfather was a military man, and he went through lots of red tape. And towards the end of his life, and he recently died just last year, we were making phone calls for him and trying to get everything that he was supposed to get to take care of him. And so I absolutely understand your reticence to, get in line for the millionth time and to be turned away. Keep trying, because the help is there for you. Anyway, have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.